Hey, this is Mike and Steph from Hearts and Hand Grenades.
And you're listening to rockmusicstar.com.
This is another exclusive Rock Music Star interview. Conducted by Thomas S. Warlock Jr.
Hello everyone, this is Thomas from rockmusicstar.com with another exclusive interview. It is January 15th, 2021, and I just completed an interview with Stephanie Wlosinski, the vocalist, bass player, songwriter of an amazing new band from Buffalo, New York called Hearts and Hand Grenades. The band just released their debut record last week called Turn to Ashes. This intense and passionate 8-track record is already receiving rave reviews from all around the world. So here she is, Stephanie from Hearts and Hand Grenades. Hey everyone, this is Thomas from rockmusicstar.com, and we have a great special for you today. We have Stephanie, the bass player and vocalist of a brand new band from Buffalo, New York called Hearts and Hand Grenades as our special guest. Stephanie, how are you today?
Awesome. How are you?
I'm doing great. I have to tell you, your record came out last week, and it's the only thing I've been playing for the last week. It's absolutely incredible. And the fact that you guys are from my hometown, Buffalo, I mean, that makes it even better.
Heck yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, and I've been reading some of the reviews that you've been getting, and all the reviews are just pretty much reflect what I just said. I mean, people are really going nuts about this record, and it's you guys did a great job.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
You're welcome. So I guess, so how gratifying is that for you to be able to see all these great reviews, and have all this like support, like for a newer band? I mean, it's difficult. I mean, there's so many bands coming out, and it's it's hard to make a mark nowadays. So like I said, how gratifying is it for you to see all these positive reviews and all these people raving about your band?
No, it's been fantastic. It's like you put yourself out there when you're writing your songs, and you don't know if people are gonna like them. Like we know that we like them. So yeah, when you get that kind of feedback, it's really encouraging. We feel like we're doing something right. So we want to keep going.
Yeah. Now let's take a step back and let's go back to the beginnings of the band. I mean, you guys started off as a cover band, is that correct?
Yeah, yeah. All four of us, we collectively just played in different bands in the cover scene in Buffalo. That's how we met each other. So we played some gigs as the cover band under Last Call. That's our cover band name. And then we just kind of got to a point where it's like, well, you only can go so far playing cover music. So we wanted to maybe do something a little bit different. We wanted to get some songs for ourselves. And just try it out with the original music scene, and it brought us basically to where we are right now.
Right. Now you were discovered kind of by Robby Takac of the Goo Goo Dolls. You're playing the Variety Club telethon with the Goo Goo Dolls,
Yeah.
and Robby offered you guys. He was so impressed by your performance that he offered you guys recording time at a studio, right?
Yeah, so it was a few years ago. We were playing right before the Goo Goo Dolls went on for the telethon. At the time, it was just cover songs, so they said, hey, you've got 2 songs. Why don't you, just pick anything and let it go? So we were like, okay. And that whole thing started after our performance. We were just hanging out down in the bar downstairs of the casino. And Robby came down, which was, awesome. And he's a really nice guy. So anybody that's ever interacted with Robby knows that he's really community oriented. He's really encouraging of anybody that's in the music scene, trying to get themselves out there. So he stopped, he said hey to us at the bar. He told us that he liked our set that we did, and just told us about his studio, GCR Audio, which, at the time we actually didn't even have any original songs. We weren't really even considering going that route. So, after that conversation, he basically gave us some information about the studio, about talking to the manager there, and Mike, who's our band manager. He gave Robby his phone number. And, at that time, you're like, okay, he's not going to call. He's not going to text. He's just saying something nice. But he did. He reached out to us. He made sure that we got connected with the manager at GCR. We took a tour of the studio. And at that point, we were hooked. We just were like, oh, shit, we better write some songs and make this happen.
Yeah.
So we did.
And I mean, the songs you wrote are incredible. You put out an EP first, the 4-song EP. Now,
Yeah.
I'm not really familiar with the EP. Were there any songs from the EP that are on the current record, Turning to Ashes?
No. So the first EP that we put out was 4 songs. We weren't really sure where we wanted to go with that. So we had 2 songs on there that were kind of in the genre that we landed on, and then we had 2 that were a little bit lighter. So once we got the lineup the way that we wanted to with the band, we knew the direction that we wanted to go in musically. At that point, we kind of just said like, okay, we sort of pulled the plug on that first EP and just got to work, basically putting together the songs that made up the album, Turning to Ashes.
Okay, what is the songwriting process like for the band? I mean, again, it kind of blows my mind that you can go from a cover band to writing this incredible record like you did. I mean, it seems to me like, you guys must have had some like, aspirations to, do this while you're a cover band because I mean, the music is incredible. It really honestly is.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think it was always there, like hiding deep down somewhere. When you've done the cover scene for so many years, I felt like for me, you kind of hit that wall. I wanted to do something more, and I always had ideas for lyrics, I guess, for songs, and I just never really did anything with it. I'd write them down. I actually had like a little notepad going on my phone where I was just kind of throwing little ideas, and it wasn't like a full song at the time. It was just. Like, hey, I thought of this like one verse. This might be cool someday. Like, this might be a cool chorus someday. And I just sort of kept the catalog going. So when we got to that point where we decided we're going to write some songs, I had that to pull from. And I did that quite a bit on this album. There was maybe half the songs, that I started from scratch with an idea or a concept. But the other half really just came from those ideas that I had been hanging on to for years. So it made it really easy for me. To be able to do that because, we hear the songs, we put together a riff, and at that point I was like, oh, I got, the best line for this, or I can hear this syncopation in this part. So it was really fun. I thought it was a really neat process.
Yeah. When you were in a cover band, what were some of the songs that you covered?
Oh man. We pretty much everything, it seems that a lot of the bands will play the same stuff. For us, though, we had an advantage, which was having, a female singer that can do rock music. So I don't even know how it happened, but we started playing some AC/DC songs because everybody likes AC/DC.
Sure.
Once we sort of figured out, like, ooh, I can do that, like, screechy, raspy thing. Ooh, this is going to be fun. We'd throw more and more songs into our set, so people would start requesting it more. From that point, we actually had the genius idea to start an AC/DC cover band, which we did that for a little bit. Yeah, that was really fun. Yeah, we played some cool gigs doing that. And that really helped, I think, drive the type and the style of songs that we wrote for Hearts and Hand Grenades.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you have any, now we're in the midst of this, like, bullshit COVID thing and you guys can't play out. Do you have any plans of once, and like, I don't know, whenever this is over to like go out and have like a proper like CD release party, maybe in Buffalo, perhaps?
Yeah, absolutely. We actually had that planned originally for Mohawk Place. We were going to do a CD release party. Obviously, the pandemic put the kibosh on those kind of venues, so we weren't able to do that. We did decide, obviously, let's release the album anyway. Let's just move forward with it and get the music out there, see how it goes, see what the response is. And we've talked about it as a band too. So I don't know if we would do something and call it a CD release party after the fact, once things open back up. But we definitely do want to tour to support that album, So even at this point, where we just released this album January 8th, but we're already working on songs for the next one.
Wow.
Which is, it's exciting and it's frustrating at the same time because we're sitting here on Turning to Ashes, and it's like we can't even get out and play to promote that album. So I think it's almost like time stands still right now. So once things open back up, I really think that we'll do a proper tour of some sort to at least push the album before we go into the new stuff. But yeah, we'll definitely do something for Turning to Ashes once we can, get out there and play.
Yeah. Now, your band is signed to Eclipse Records. How did Eclipse get into the picture?
That was mainly driven by Mike, doing the band manager stuff that he does. But we got in contact with Eclipse, and you figure, it's a needle in a haystack, type of scenario where, they're going to pick you, they're going to listen to your stuff and give it an honest review. So, we just kind of sent our stuff over to them, and they listened to it and they liked it, and it worked out that they wanted to work with us. So I just kind of feel like we got lucky, and I hate to say that you got to get lucky, because you still have to work hard and you have to make sure that your stuff's good. But yeah, part of it may have just been luck that they decided to give our album or our EP at the time a listen and to give us a shot. So it
Yeah.
worked out in our favor.
And it seems like they're really promoting you. You've already released 3 videos for the record, which are great videos, and how much some bands I talk to really don't enjoy making videos, and some love it. I mean,
Yeah.
how did you feel about making those 3 videos for the record?
I thought they were fun. We had a good time doing it. We went with Promoting Buffalo. That's the name of the company that shot the videos for us. And they do a really good job of making sure that you're comfortable, that the atmosphere is light and it's casual and it's fun. So that process wasn't bad. Having never done that before, we did our first video for Nothing Left.
Right.
It was a little bit weird to get used to, just because none of us had really done that. But once you get through like the first few takes, it just gets really easy after that. So for us, I think we had a really good time. There was beer involved. What's better than that?
No, nothing is better than beer and filming videos, I suppose.
Oh,
Not that I would know. I want to get back to the writing process for you. I mean, the lyrics. Your lyrics are very, very profound and very intense and passionate. Um, how difficult is the lyric writing process for you?
yeah. Once I get going on something, it does tend to come pretty easily for me so far. Knock on wood. In the songs, I've been asked a bunch of times, what are they about? Something personal in my life, something I experienced. So kind of, but most of this was just pulled from like an emotion. So Nothing Left that's a total breakup song, so that's something that I think is relatable. Most people have gone through something like that in their life. So that was fairly easy to just draw inspiration, I think, for that song. But like I Hide, that's about feeling isolated, feeling alone, dealing with that. Turning to Ashes, that's about indecision and basically needing to move forward, because the lyric actually goes, the bridge is burned that leads me home, and I'm turning to ashes. So if you stand still, if you do nothing, that's it. It's over. You've got to make a decision. You've got to move forward. So I tried to at least reach into some things that were relatable to people and to situations that happen in everyday life.
Yeah. And like I said, is the lyrics are I mean the whole picture, the riffs, the lyrics. I mean it really comes together, and it's really the sound of your band is outstanding. Although I'm still trying to struggle on how to categorize your band. I mean it fits so many different categories. It could be like my knee-jerk reaction was that it was modern rock, but the more I listen to it, I think it has a lot of elements of like even like classic rock in it, and it just is. And then I can listen to it and think like, man, this should have been like a record that Courtney Love put out. I mean, it was because it's just. I mean, it has that. There's just so many different like varieties on the record, so many different like moods in that, and it's and how would you classify it if you could?
Yeah, no, you're right. It's not, every song doesn't sound the same, and we wanted that. We didn't want to be another one of those bands that's like, oh, hey, here's their debut, and every song sounds just like the last.
Yeah.
The four of us, I think we all draw inspiration from different genres of rock. We all we come from rock, but there's so many sub-rock categories you could go.
Yeah.
So Mike's really heavy into classic rock. He's your typical classic rock guy. You can hear that in his rhythms that he plays. Which is awesome. Kenny is more, we'll say, Southern rock, and then he jumps the spectrum, and one of his favorite bands is the Red Hot Chili Peppers. So, he floats there really nicely, and I think you can hear that in his lead lines too. He's got these really creative, almost twangy things that he does, which are really unique for him. Myself, I really like alternative, like 90s alternative, that whole that punk scene that went on in there. So, and the song "The In Crowd," it's such a weird song, and it's weird on purpose, and it's just perfect the way it is. It's got these really swanky verses that go into like this weird hardcore fast-paced chorus. So we just didn't want everything to sound alike. We wanted to show everybody that we are 4 different people that have 4 different tastes, and we can come together and make this thing just awesome. All the songs can pop, and all the songs can have a little flavor of everybody.
Yeah, and you absolutely accomplished that. The last question I have for you, Stephanie, and once again, thank you very much for your time, is where would you like to see the band in 3 years from now?
Oh man, hopefully touring. We want to do that. That's a big focus of ours right now. So we have the 1 album out. We have big plans to have the second one out, possibly released also in 2021. Right now, we're kind of thinking that might be the fall, winter, somewhere in there. But we just have plans to keep writing, to keep going, to keep promoting, and we want to get out there and play. We're really eager to let everybody see who we are and what we're about. So we love Buffalo, but we want to just explode outwards and just hit as many places as we can.
Well, I lied. I want to ask one more question. A lot of people, a lot of the bands and musicians from Buffalo that have made it big end up moving out of Buffalo. Do you think you can do this and stay in Buffalo and get to the next level and be here? Are you willing to take that chance and stay in Buffalo?
I mean, I think it just depends on how big you can really get and how much you're willing to travel. Like if home is here, which for me, I'm a huge homebody. I love Buffalo. I grew up in the South towns of Buffalo, and I always joke with everybody, and I say it's like a cult. You grow up here, it's like you tend to just keep gravitating back. Yeah. So I think for me, wherever this takes us, which I hope is far and wide, because that's what we all want as a band. I think this will always be home for me. I have a feeling the other guys would say that too. But nothing's out of the question. If you have a great opportunity and it winds up in a different state or in a different country, right now the way things are going, we definitely want to be where we can play, where we can get out there, where we can do our thing. So maybe we jump ship for a bit, but I think I would come back.
Yeah, awesome. Well, that's great to hear. Well, Stephanie, I wish you a best of luck. I'm looking forward to that next gig in Buffalo. I'll definitely be there. And again, congratulations on a great record.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, take it easy.
Take care. Bye.